We welcome you to the Priscilla R. Tyson Cultural Arts Center for our Conversations and Coffee on this 19th day of the month of September. I'm Ellen O'Shaughnessy, coordinator of the program. We're delighted to have with us Newt Crabbe, known to many of us as Newt. I've shared the story that when we went to Paris from here at the Cultural Arts Center in October of 2016, one of our highlights was taking drawing lessons along the banks of the Seine. Newt was with us. The art teacher in Paris said to me, as he saw Newt's drawings, he should be teaching this class. Beginning at the age of 3, Newt started to love drawing. He loved it so much that when he ran out of paper around the home, his parents gave him paper grocery bags, which he would then soon fill up with his drawings and wanting more. Thus, Newton has been a practicing artist since he was very young, and an artist who creates images with acrylic paint for well over 50 years. He's expressed himself through painting as a rural landscape artist from his surroundings where he lived, was schooled, and worked on the far west side of Columbus. His paintings reflect the great heritage and story of family farms as they declined and gave to industry as Columbus grew as a city and suburbs developed. He's painted Ohio rural scenes in and near Galloway, West Jefferson areas near Darby Creek, in Madison and Morrow counties, as well as in nearby West Virginia and Indiana. Newton could be seen painting his rural scenes out in the farm fields, capturing the history, tradition, and culture of the family farmers that settled the lands of Ohio. Observers would seek him out as he painted outdoors to watch him work, ask questions about his artwork, even photograph him for the Columbus Dispatch and the Messenger. Newt has been drawn into his paintings by the struggle and interaction between the human, the progress of humans, and nature. He painted the lonely country barns, old and weary, and separated from the sold-off acres of land that once surrounded it. At Wesleyan High School in Galway, Newton studied under Wes Blizzard, arts educator. Wes was known in Columbus and throughout Ohio, and he recognized Newt's natural talent and well-practiced skills and set up Newt as the independent student with an art professor at OSU.
About 50 years ago.
50 years ago.
Revolutionary back then.
Yeah, and it was Newt's senior year in high school, 1974. After high school, Newt attended CCAD for a year and a half. His paintings, his love for art, though not becoming his work or a business, flourished and continues as a joy, alive in him today. He shares his art with others as he generates art shows in libraries, banks, churches, among other places, and businesses for his paintings and 3D butterfly creations. I always want to bring that in as you sent butterflies to one of the downtown churches where we celebrated. Newt's paintings represent the story of the barn's quiet, surrendering process of nature, reclaiming our dominion over the land. These paintings had detailed brushstrokes, showing reality down to individual blades of grass. His paintings also show the variety of style and subjects as Newton enjoys exploration. He also paints in abstract and geometric shapes, color illusions, cityscapes, and European scenes. These European scenes were featured in Newt's last February Conversations and Coffee, where he featured his paintings in countries like France, Italy, Germany, among others. He's embraced the use of bright, fluorescent colors and rich metallic acrylics in his brushes. Most recently, Newt has broken away from his highly detailed and realistic approach of the past by keeping his style fresher and more open to spontaneity, the looseness of expression. This leaves more of an impression, allowing viewers to bring the reality to life. We are surrounded by this beauty, are we not? This impression in your paintings, Newt. So happy to have you with us again. So take it away.
Thank you. I was drawing the audience while I was listening to her, and people don't realize what art is. You know, art is everywhere. You know, one time we was at a museum with my wife's sister, and she said, "I've never been in the Columbus Art Museum. I don't know anything about art." And we looked at her and said, "You're dressed, and you're just playing, decorating yourself, and you're an artist. People don't realize art is everywhere." And what I do is just paint on canvas as art, but people don't realize they decorate their house, their gardens, pick out the car that they want, this and that. They go to the store and pick out this and that because of color. Color really moves more than you think. Working for a grocery store, you'd be surprised on where you put a color. You go into the grocery store and you look at color. And you look at the how the shelves are put out. They fight over color extremely in a grocery store. The companies who are trying to outdo this company, this and that. And it's just a bright color or something will move that product. But being an artist, I don't have to do that. I actually do old barns and landscapes and this and that.
Tell us about them.
And
wow, this is beautiful.
This one right here, over here, is Galloway. It's a little town on the west side that probably won't be here in too many more years because everything is building around. They'll lose their little country atmosphere. And I just wanted to put an old truck in there just to give a feeling of what a little country granary was. I'm doing a whole series of stuff. And this old barn here, normally I love doing old barns. It's the rustic stuff that's going back into nature. And it just gives a when you're driving down a country road, you see a lot of old barns and landscapes on summer days and winter days. And basically, I really enjoy doing barns. That barn has been torn down. This barn right over here was in Galloway. Now that field is been bulldozed. Everything is gone. It's now has turned back into the nature again. It's been recycled. And doing with color, I love how the sun is hitting this and inflecting, and then the windows. What I like about this painting here is this area right in here. For some reason, it gives me a certain feeling for that area right in here and how that comes. I try to, when I'm on location, I'll do a quick sketch get it in my mind, I'll take a lot of photographs. And basically, and then try to go back to the studio and work on the painting. And I become the director of this canvas. And when you're working on the canvas, you're looking at the photo, you're working with your mind and trying to create something on canvas where will give certain feelings to certain people. You know, you can go over here and you get a certain feeling with this painting here. You get a cold feeling, but you get a warm feeling. The sun is coming up. It's a morning scene. And you see that tractor here. Without me putting that tractor in there, that painting wouldn't really pop. And sometimes when you're working with a painting, you gotta set and look at it and seeing how much detail do you want to put in it. And basically, you know, I put a little bit of detail here, a little bit there, but I was working more on the sunset, on the sunrise.
Are you outside painting that?
No, I took a lot of photographs, and if you look at the photograph, you'll see the buildings pretty much as is, but there was no tractor. But you become the director of this canvas. You want a certain feeling to get to the person who's looking at it. You know, when I'm in the studio, I'm looking at it, and I'm saying, should I put this purple right here? If I didn't put that purple right here, it wouldn't pop. You know, you want that thing to pop and give a certain feeling. You know, that little bit of purple in here. And the trees, you don't want, you know, you got the bark. You know, I wanted to put more detail into the bark, you know, right in here. But you have to learn when to stop. That's the magical thing in art, is when to stop. You know, you can keep on going and more detailed, but the more I have learned over the decades is when to stop, you know. And over here, you have it gives you a lonely feeling. For some reason, you know, I was going out west, and I seen this old house, and that, for some reason, that door and that window spoke to me. I stopped, took some sketches, and basically, you know, and took it down to the studio and worked on it. And then again, when do you stop? When do you put the detail in? How much detail do you put in it? You want to make the window look like a window. You want to make it look broken. You want to make the weeds look up, this and that. And I was down in West Virginia, and I seen a boarded up building with boards, you know, plywood on the side. For some reason, that spoke to me. And basically, I just looked at it, and I took photos, and basically, you know, and it evolved. You know, I wanted it kept simple, but look rustic, you know. But yeah.
So how do you know when to stop? I don't know when to stop. How do you know to stop?
It's the magical. It's the magical. Yeah, it's magical. When to stop. You know, a lot of times it's, you know, it's like right over there on that Paris scene was the thing over here. It's when to stop. You know, sometimes being simple and not being so much detail, you get the message and the feeling. It's a sunrise. They got the light show going on up top. You got the subway, you know, the metro system in Paris. But do I go in more detail? Do I keep it the same? You know, I can go over detail. You know, I enjoy detail, you know. And then this was, I was driving on the west side of Columbus by the,
Township Community Center?
yeah, community center, and they had a whole field of flowers. I got cosmos. I love cosmos, you know, for some reason. And they had the butterflies out there. And I set up my easel when the sun was setting, about right in here. It was a very, and I got out the paint and start really working on it, this and that. But I took a lot of photographs. But and I liked the butterflies, you know. It's because they was just having a good old time in the flowers, you know. But just, again, when to stop. You know, you want to get the sun coming in, but you want the butterflies to pop, you know. And you can just see the sun is setting, and you can see the different colors of light. But when you're working with acrylic, acrylic dries quite quickly, extremely quickly. You know, you put it on your hands and it dries immediately, you know. And then, you know, after it's all done, I like putting frames on them because it's done, you know. And, you know, and then painting out the, figuring out what color to frame. That frame looks black, but it's really a dark olive green, you know. But but I think that one is very enjoyable for me. It gives me a lot of feelings when I see that one. Just because of the moment I seen that beautiful field with the cosmos in the field, in the butterflies. It plays in my mind of that beautiful sunset that probably will never be again, you know. And over here, this was over here out west, near West Jeff. I was driving by, the house is gone now, and you just look at the house, you've got the little fence over here, and basically, you just wonder, what happened? Did the people just leave? Did the family didn't want the house no more? It's another feeling that you get from the whole thing.
Was there any barns around that?
No, there was no barns, you know. It might have been a cattle barn somewhere else. But, you know, the door was open. Then you have the old washer back here, you know, how the people had a little washer. And, you know, but it's a house that's not there no more. And basically, it's just one of them things that spoke to me, and I kind of liked it. You know, it's kind of yellow, this and that. And like I said, again, I'm the director of that canvas. And when I'm looking at the photograph, I'm putting a lot of the details from the photograph into this thing, and then leaving certain things out, putting some stuff in. So it's because you got to make the painting, it's not a photograph. You're trying to get a feeling to the public, you know. But you can see the certain detail in certain places. But
The one of the Eiffel Tower isn't, it moves to an abstract art.
Yeah, I kind of like that, you know. It's just, you know, coming over here, you know, just looking at the Venice thing, that's more of an abstract. Mm-hmm. But when the minute you see that, you know that's a gondola and the colors. That was a very quick painting to do. I liked it. And I figured that's the way they speak in Venice, that their language. I did it in their language. But the thing is, it was very quick, very nice to do, and it was kind of nice to do it that way. It's kind of like a poster, but it's acrylic. But the I'm going to pass some acrylic. Some people don't know what acrylic feels like.
He tears that off of his
Palette.
palettes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, it feels like rubber. You know, oil has more of a stiff feeling and gritty feeling. And when you're working in oils, you have a lot of turpentines and dryers and all that. But with acrylic, it dries very quickly. And the hardest...
Excuse me, can you add water to this and
Oh, yeah.
regenerate it, or?
No, you can't do that. After it's dry,
almost like a plastic.
yeah.
But yeah, when it's starting to get to that point, you can still add water and mix it up and use it.
Yeah, it's more healthier for the environment and the painter himself who's working on it, because the turpentine and the certain chemicals is, you know, it's not good for the artist who's working on that because of the fumes.
But you can work with water soluble oils.
You want Sophia?
Water soluble oils.
Yeah.
So
wanna
you don't
repeat
use
that?
that, but you don't
Okay,
need
here, so we can hear you better.
water soluble oils is another option for oils that I use now.
Yeah.
Use water instead of solvents.
Yeah.
So it's better and it's easier, just easier. You
Yeah.
take water.
To clean up, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and then
And to water down.
and I have learned to basically when I'm working with acrylic, normally it's dries before I can get into the car, and then have, you know, oil takes a long time to dry. Yeah.
In the painting back here in the streets of Paris, this is a good one to talk about when it's finished, because I know that you are not sure this is done.
Yeah.
That he's still asking that question, and you were saying, how do you know? Did she leave? Okay. Well, how do you know? I think you have to have that open question in your head all the time, checking yourself, saying, okay, could this be done? Could this be done? Is there more that it needs? Is it less? It's always a question.
Right in here, need to be something done. You know.
But we hung a picture that Newt painted, and he told me that he didn't want to have paintings hung up in the house because he's afraid every time he looks at it, he'll want to do something to change it. And so that is what an artist goes through. It's a struggle.
And this is Marilyn, wife of
Yes.
Newt.
Yeah. She helps me out a lot. Yeah.
I just wanted to comment on that. I can see where you might want to put something in there, but the fact that you got a nice set of details on the right and a nice set of details on the left, it leaves the viewer an opening in the middle to kind of go back there and wonder what's around the corner. For me, it could be finished, but I know what you're saying. There also could be that idea that maybe you put something in there. But
Yeah. It's going to play on the rest of my mind for eternity why I didn't do this or that. You know. But the and then
That's a beautiful painting. And what, isn't that great? And the couple here, the hug,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
sweet.
Yeah, it's a feeling painting. It's not a detail painting like this or that over here. That's a detail painting. This is sometimes them type of paintings can take more time than that one. Just because where do I put the purple? Where do I make the sky? And when you're working in acrylic, when you do the sky, you got to go very quickly. You know, when I'm out on location, you know, I'm working very quickly with the brush and a lot of acrylics, just going back and forth, trying to get the sky perfect, you know. And that's the hardest thing to do and acrylic is doing the sky.
And this doesn't come from a photograph, though, does it? No, this is your imagination. And
Somewhat. It's in Paris, you know. It's up by I never can say it. The church.
Sepulchre. It's called the Sacred Heart, I think. Sepulchre.
But Newt, the thing is the more I look at that, you got that building in the background, it's right in the middle, that dark
Yeah.
silhouette, and then you've got the contrast of the buildings.
Yeah.
It's balanced. I mean, and the way you did the right is so beautifully done with the light.
Yeah.
And then you got the couple. I don't know why you need anything else in there. I mean, it just feels like it feels finished because of that. And I feel like, I mean, if you put something in there, it might crowd it up, but you would know if you put it in there, it looks too crowded. But right now, the balance of detail, the couple, the interest, and then you've got that building way back in the background with the dark. It feels like it flows nicely.
Yeah. Yeah.
and this is coming from a pro here.
Like him, you know, we struggle with the same stuff. You know,
Yeah.
you get done with it and you wonder, is it finished?
You know, looking at our artists and this and that, the famous ones, just think how many stuff that they have that they don't want to show.
Like the
Yeah,
sketches.
The
and
sketches, this and that.
And then they put them in the museums. And it's like they would probably be like, oh no.
Yeah. But so it's like this sketch right here is this car here, you know, when I painted it on location. Yeah, is that here? Yes. We did.
That's wonderful. Yeah, you want to pass that around. That's just great to see that in that.
Yeah. And then this was, you know, done in Paris.
Does that have the Michelle on back?
Yeah. That was supposed to be, I wanted this one back there, the one that's supposed to look like that, but it didn't quite turn out the way I wanted it to. But the whole thing is, I'll probably do another one, or a couple of them. And basically, that was a quick little sketch. Sometimes I like to sketch better when I do the painting. Yeah.
Is this that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But this is a lot of people don't realize how much detail that you can go in to. So it's like on that one there, you know, that's some of the. I draw before I do the painting. I have learned back decades ago. I just took the painting out and did the drawings on the canvas on location. But I just learned that you kind of want to plan it out a little bit. It works a little bit better, you know. So and so. It's just quick sketches, stuff that the artist throws away.
Well, that's what you were doing as I was introducing you. You were sketching the audience.
Yes, because like I said, being an artist, you're looking at your environment 24/7 a day, you know.
When he drives, it's kind of hard for him to keep his eyes on the road.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
checking everything out.
You know, looking at this room, I'm looking at the cameras and you know, the people around and what they're wearing and their face. And my brain is like a kaleidoscope, constantly moving and moving. And basically, a lot of the artists that I know, their brains are just constantly moving in color and shapes and how I should, you know, everything is in moving in shapes.
Artists, can you identify with that? Eric, yes.
Now, how big is that original map?
About this size here. That one there, it's a little bit better in real life, but what I like about this one was that it was another hot summer day in Indiana, and I thought that how that plane was, I did it very quickly, and basically I set up the canvas and the easel and got the the water, this and that. Did that very quickly, And I just like how the cornfields and how the land and the clouds and all that was.
Very strong piece. And the way you did the lines, it gives it a lot of depth. And then you've got the blue on the building is great shadows, but beyond that, those clouds look very, very
Yeah,
nice.
I love those
Clouds are
clouds.
very, very, the texture of the clouds is very rich.
That's the hardest thing to do, is to go for them, the clouds and the sky. That's the hardest thing. Yeah. Just like this winter scene over here. You want the clouds and stuff in there to look like it's a cold winter day. That's a cold, cloud.
Question. You do take a photo and then you painting it in your studio, yes?
A lot of times I go out and I do a sketch, and sometimes I bring the canvas out to the location, and I take a lot of photographs, because in this neck of the woods, it rains, it blows. If you got a large canvas, it's kind of, very hard to move or anchor it down. A lot of times I will anchor the canvas down and basically work from there, at least I don't have a whirlybird over my head holding the canvas. Yeah?
On your sketches here, some of them have numbers. Are they relevant to it at all?
No, they're probably telephone numbers from somebody that called. Yeah. Huh? Don't get me in trouble. But they're probably somebody that called on the phone, and or I was writing down a phone number or something.
Talk about this one there. That's a nice one too. That's another.
Okay.
That's
Now that on that piece of property, there's Thornton's gas station is now there now, but you got to see it in real life, But but it was a fun one to do, and basically, it's just a part of my history on the west side of Columbus,
Is that on Broad or Norton?
Norton. Yeah, it's where Thornton's used to be. And what was so nice, I got to know a lot of the farmers out on the west side,
Painting in their fields, and they're like, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah, and that's the most interesting thing, A lot of times I'll be painting on location. Like one time I was in Plain City, and this has been decades ago. I was painting a big railroad station. It's now gone. It's now in my personal collection. But I got to talk to a lot of the Amish people. They was very interested, and they would stop their little buggies, this and that, and talk to you. And basically, it was very, very interesting. A lot of times, it's more interesting to talk to the public when you're out there on location. And when I think about that painting of the railroad station, we had one Amish guy. He had a nice beard, this and that, very nice, and he was saying, "Yes, I was in New Rome, and anybody knows about the police officers in New Rome, the constables or whatever, he got pulled over, and this has been back in the probably the late 70s or 80s, and they told him, the Amish guy, the police officer told him, you're a hippie, and we're going to give you a ticket." And he was very...
Was he in a buggy?
Yeah, he was in a buggy.
They gave him a ticket for speeding?
No, he was riding with somebody or
Oh,
so.
in a car.
Yeah.
Okay. He wasn't driving.
Oh, he was very perturbed.
Being called a hippie, I would think so.
Oh, yeah. He was trying to explain to the officer that he was a Amish person. Yeah. but you would not have to know the history of.
New Rome being a speed trap,
Yeah.
and they only have Broad Street from a short distance on the west side.
Yeah. That's in our world and our
It
time.
took a lot to take that out of there.
Yeah.
It was a family that generational that was getting money from all of the judges and the officers they'd hire, and yeah. And it was like one strip of Broad
I
Street.
just want to compliment you on the color harmony on that. It just really, the way you use blue is like that last one, the blue and the shadow, the cold to catch the snow and the blue, the shadow is just awesome. And then the sky, but the color on the barn is the barn and the buildings, nice, very nice.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it comes in real life, it looks a little bit better in real life, just like them paintings here, you know.
I was thinking of the year and a half you were at CCAD. Joe Canzani was famous for color.
Yeah.
Did you ever come in contact with him as what? Did you take classes there? What?
Yes,
Yeah.
I went there as a student. Student, yeah.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
do you remember from there?
It's been so many decades ago. One time at our church, Mr. Drummond Dennis knew who I was, you know, and he kept me painting like a crazy person to hang this stuff in the church. You know, we need 20 paintings in next 3 months or whatever. You know, it kept me going. You know.
And he just recently passed away.
Yes, he passed away. Yeah.
Well, Joe would be delighted at your color and what you do with color. It's gorgeous, Newt.
Yeah, you know, he was quite a huh?
He was a tough teacher. He's very, very strict.
Yes, he was a very, you know, is it a good word? Discipline type of a, yeah. His
Paintings reflected that because they were super realistic.
yes, you know, but he kept me going and you know, I like when he seen my butterflies. You know, he's very, very professional and very critical. If you ever had his class, he brought you down. As being an artist and young, you have to be brought down a little bit. And he was very good at that. But when he went to the normal public, it wasn't into the college situation, you know, that becomes in our world. But he was a very nice person to know. I got along with him quite nicely. Yeah, you know, if you knew him, you knew how critical he could be. You know, he would go for something like this and criticize it to a normal person would be in tears. But he would go and criticize to me, okay, I've been doing that for 60 years. You've been doing it for 70. I like this. You know, yes, I'm going to take your your comment, and I'm going to say, yes, you're right. Maybe this corner should be worked on. Maybe this needs to be brightened a little bit, this and that. That's really nice to have somebody that's very particular, but sometimes you got to learn to get it done. Yeah, that's the whole thing. When to say it's over. Yeah.
So you said that you had Mr. Blizzard as your teacher at Westland.
Yes.
I went to Westland as well.
Yes.
And I remember him as the art teacher there, but you said he talked to you about going to CCAD. Is that what you were saying?
No,
When he was in high school, as a high school senior, he connected him up with professors at OSU, artists, the art teachers there, and the art professors.
Yeah,
and Newton would go in and work with them, like on an independent study.
Yeah, for about a year or so, yeah. And then I went to the Columbus Art and Design, got a scholarship for a year and a half or something like that, and went there.
But Blizzard was very well connected, being that he kind of began the governor's art show for high school students. And so he had a lot of connections.
Yeah.
Where's this painting right now? Where's the original?
Where's the original? That's in warehouse. Okay. That.
It's a nice painting.
Yeah. Anyway, that is a barn on Route 40. In the wintertime, I did try to go out in the winter and try to paint that, but in acrylic, if it's not at 32 degrees.
If it's below 32
Yeah,
degrees.
32. Yeah, you got a little problem. If you had oils, you don't have that problem. That's the only drawback was acrylic, which is, but I kind of like that one.
The way you left that, the roof was like that, and you see it in disrepair, and you captured that too. You had photographs of that in the studio, and you went and painted that.
Yeah, that's what he likes, is when they're starting to go back into nature.
Yeah, it's just something about you're driving by, you know the stuff. Why didn't the person repair it? Did the family leave? Did they build a better?
Did they sell the farm and they just
Yeah.
haven't knocked down that
Yeah.
section of the land?
Yeah, and just working with dark and negatives and shadows and stuff. A barn is kind of more of an interesting thing to work on.
He likes it weathered. It looks abandoned. It looks lonely. It makes you think about not only what has happened here, but how things go back. That if you don't take care of something, then it's going to waste away.
Yeah, and
It's beautiful at the same time.
and you're looking at it and you just see that little bit of brown and a little bit of thing. You want to make sure people got a sense of where it's deep, going deeper, And basically, it was a cold winter day on that one, but I like that one, and we have the other one. That one there, that was
That's
it.
the same barn,
Okay.
Same barn, and
seasoned.
that was probably 40 years ago, or I lose track of time.
Nice clouds, though.
But again, it was like 90 some degrees, and I was kind of like stupid and young, and I was out there. I couldn't do that today, but I was out there with my easel on the location on Route 40, and a dispatch photographer or whatever took a bunch of photos. I think it was a low news day. They get on front page, But I really like that one. You can see the trees and the cornfield and the broken fence.
Was
And-
the farm still being worked by somebody? Because a
Yeah.
lot of times when a farm folds, they'll lease out the land to other farmers
Yeah.
who don't have their own farm, and they will farm the land, but it's not their barn, it's not their...
Yes, for some reason that's in my collection, and basically I like that one. And basically, and then when I do the frames, I make my own frames. And basically, that's what I've been doing for the last 2 weeks nonstop, is making the frames.
for all of these.
Yeah. Yeah, and normally, them frames here is just simple pine, and them frames here is just simple fence cedar. That's it. I used to buy,
Is that where you brought these?
yeah,
I kept wondering why you had those.
yeah, that's all I do. Just cut them and miter them, and that's it.
That shows the materials of the frames, and then
That's-
I help
When you
paint
stain them
them.
after that?
Huh?
After you get them all done, you stain them after that?
No,
We don't stain them, we paint them with acrylics.
acrylic.
Oh, okay.
Them frames here is a lot more simpler. They're just mitered real quick, and basically they're pine. And I do is sand them. Them here, they're rough, and then I antique them very quickly. And whoever buys them, I call them throwaway frames. The person who buys them would probably have their decorator, whoever, and they would go to a regular framer and decorate it around the room. Normally when you buy a painting, normally you decorate the room around the painting. You don't try to buy the painting and decorate around, but the people who know, that's what they do. They send it to the decorator.
I want to ask, about how many paintings do you think you have in your possession?
300.
All of them.
300.
300.
Yeah, he doesn't sell them.
Yeah.
Are they for sale, or you just?
Yeah, if someone wants to buy them, we're chat, but I've been told by a lot of people, I don't talk price. If they're interested, we're chat. Yeah, one time I had a big painting hanging in a, I am not making fun of the gentleman, that was a big painting into a conference room, and it was a bunch of other paintings.
Was this in Grove City or?
It was in Lincoln Village.
Okay.
And
So you got to realize, out west, far west, we're not talking hilltop area, but it's still, a lot of rural people. So they're not used to paying a lot of money for the pictures they hang on the walls.
Anyway, it was a water mill. It was enormous. Anyway, he called me. He said, "Newton, are you setting down? Are you setting down?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to want to buy your painting." "Yeah." "You're setting down, Newton?" "Yes, I am. I am setting down. I'm going to offer you a lot of money." And he said, I had hundreds of hours going into the location up on by Knox County. There was a big park and a big old water mill, and that took a lot of time and money and this and that. And then I made the cedar frame for it and this and that. He said, "Newton, I hope you're setting down. I hope you're setting down. I'm going to offer you a lot of money for this." $100.
But see,
$100.
they didn't have an idea for him to pay that to put on his wall. That's a lot.
The nice thing to do and say, "No, it's not for sale." Yeah, he didn't know. He just figured,
An amount that would have been a lot for him.
that's the whole thing. But what's nice about art is you can share it. That's more important to me than anything else, is to share the art out there in the public. And yeah, that's fine.
I'm just going to say, those are 3 canvases that he has managed to put together. It's got a unit on the back that connects them that way.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Yes, I like working with shapes and colors. And why should you be bonded to a square canvas? Why? Who told you that? Why should it be square? I did that, and why should it be like an old barn or landscape, or a European scene? I kind of like doing the color, and some people would enjoy that to no end,
Canvas, stretch canvas?
Yeah.
How do you stretch it on those shapes?
Those are aren't those rectangular or not?
Yeah, they're 3 different canvases.
Are they angled? Is that why they look like that? They're angled to the viewer, or they're?
Yeah, you can kind of see it.
Slant.
Kind
Were
of see
they
it
like
around.
trapezoids or something new? I'm
Yeah,
trying to remember.
yeah, you-
We just photographed this last week.
Yeah, we photographed it very quickly. Yeah, and it's a great big piece. It's about this high, One time I did a piece that was 12 feet, and it was supposed to be donated to a place, and then they changed the political atmosphere.
You still have it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have all of them.
No, I have sold.
You're about 50 years of painting.
I have sold back decades ago. I used to sell a lot, you know, for a couple hundred, 300, you know, back 40 some years ago. But you can't get no. No. You know, this is a whole nother world. This is 50 years later. You don't. That's the.
Inflation alone should have it up the prices up.
You know, that's where you talk to the customer, and if he's interested, or businesses, or it's. I don't like really getting into the business part of it anymore, because a lot of people don't quite understand. You know, and normally this stuff is kind of out of the normal price range of people.
You gonna tell us?
Oh
He likes playing with color.
Yeah, another thing was color. I got, you know, it hangs, you know, going the up, you know.
Well, you have, okay,
Yeah, you know, I'm working with colors and shapes.
there's a diamond.
Yeah, and you know, we didn't get it blocked in right, but at least I'm working with the canvases and stuff like that. And
And you have some pieces behind
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Canvas, are they do?
Yeah, they're canvases. They're right here.
He builds his frames and stretches his own canvas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's got the glasses?
Huh?
Who's got the glasses?
Oh, the glasses.
Oh, they're right here.
Oh, here.
If you want to look through these, you can put them on top of your glasses
This is not
and
easy.
look at it, it pops.
See how some of this stands out in front of this?
Yeah, you have to stare
Those are
at.
3D.
I've already looked at them. They're very nice.
You have to stare at for a while, and then they pop right out.
So do you want to see?
How you stretch them, I see now, it took a lot of work to even get them stretched.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, I've been doing that. I make my own stretchers and canvases and stuff like that. You got to keep the cost down a little bit. And I like using the, you know, heavier canvas, and then I gesso it, and then I use acrylic white over it to get the way I want it. Depends on what texture I really want.
The optical ones, those are very nice.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people like them, you know. You gotta, if you get to the point where you're extremely stereotype, you're stuck. Yeah. You know, in certain rooms that would look really nice. You know, I think the worstest painting I did here is this rose. But it was very quickly. I never painted a rose before. I wanted to see if I could paint a rose. And being an artist, you like to, you know, challenge yourself, you know, on certain things. That's the fun thing of working down your studio. You're challenging yourself. And basically, and what was neat, me and Marilyn tried to figure out what frame would look nice around there.
What color?
What color? You know, would it be pink, green, red?
In the background.
Yeah. We went, what would make this painting pop? What would you guys think would?
Good, but it
Just
depends on the
like
wall in
this.
your house you're gonna put it in. If you
Yeah.
put it in a room that has,
A pink wall.
yeah, and very little pink in the room, you might wanna change the color, but what do you think was, you said it was the worst painting you did? What's worse about that? That's a beautiful picture.
What I like about it, it was so quickly, and I wanted to paint a rose, because I never painted one before, and that was the fun part. You know, never did one. You know, what's nice about being an artist, I'm a landscape artist. I do put people in there, here and there. I do put animals or butterflies, but you have artists that basically all they do is birds or ducks or color, and people don't realize that. Certain artists, they like doing certain things, and they're very good at it, you know. I do like challenging myself on doing certain things. And basically, on the modern things, with shaping colors and certain shapes of canvases, that's more of a challenge for me. And it gets me away from the old barns or a landscape or something when I'm down there, because sometimes I'm working on maybe 10 or 15 paintings at a time, not on the, because you're looking at something all for hours and hours, you get kind of burn out, and it's time to move something in and put something fresh. Because I learned if you're just focusing on one painting and that's all you're doing, and you start making mistakes, you know, and it's time to move it on and work on the next one, and then think about it, how to work out this color problem.
It's hard to imagine what would be a mistake in this.
Oh.
Would it be in the color? Would it be in design?
See,
All of those.
see, I can go for every painting here
Uh-huh.
and tell you all the mistakes. Now, you know, there's where you keep your mouth shut. You learn to keep your mouth shut, you know. You know.
Well, we would like to not keep our mouth shut, to say how wonderful this was, Newt and Crabbe, that you share with us an amazing talent. And Eric was picking it up and seeing it through. I really appreciate everyone's response, too. Yeah, isn't that wonderful?
That's a canvas he stretched.
Okay.
Yeah, he built the frame and stretched that. You have to ignore the thing past the black frame.
whole god of them.
Well, your Aunt June of years ago would be so proud of you
Oh,
as you were
yes.
drawing on all the paper bags at 3 years old
So
and
that's-
coming to let it.
Just think of what a Kroger paper bag would be worth today.
We're so glad to have you with us, Newt. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for coming and enjoying Coffee and Connections. And the thing about the Coffee and Connections, I come here, I try to come here every week or every time it's there. I learn something new from every artist. And basically, people don't realize how hard our artist does to create his art. I don't care what it is. It's a hard thing for them. And then when they get up here, a lot of times they have to think on what to present, this and that.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
okay, hey, thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thank you.